With Iran's missiles raining down, Israel still stuns, but at what cost? The US has warships, warplanes and 40,000 troops within striking distance. Yet, those assets have not joined the fight. Israel is left bleeding under barrage after barrage from terrain. Our special report takes a look at how Israel has been left to fight Iran alone.
Iran is vowing retaliation against American forces. The Iran-Israel war enters a new, dangerous territory. US warplanes unleashed bunker-buster bombs on Isfahan, Natanz and the underground uranium enrichment facility at Fordo in support of the bombardment campaign that ally Israel began on June 13th. The American bombers are back on US mainland, but the two West Asian arch foes continue to trade heavy fire. Washington is making one thing clear: it's not a war with Iran.
No, Kristen, we're not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program. And let me just say, Kristen, that we're incredibly grateful and proud of the American Air Force pilots who did an incredible job last night. The operation was really extraordinary.
Right now, Israeli cities are under heavy attack from Iranian missiles. The Iron Dome is failing to cope with the onslaught, but its most powerful ally is just sitting tight. Iran is about 1,000 kilometers away from Israel. When a missile is launched from Iranian territory, there are several American assets which can shoot them down. Interceptor missiles from US ships in Persian Gulf can neutralize the projectiles. The Iranian missiles then fly over Iraq, where American air assets including F-16s, F-22s and F-35s are there. Similarly, there is concentrated US air power in Jordan. Again, there are American warships in the Red Sea which have powerful interceptor missiles which can easily shoot down Iranian missiles. There are US warships in the Mediterranean too, which can spring into action. The US has created a ring of deterrence, but no strikes. Though Israeli PM said that the US is helping shoot down Iranian missiles, but on the ground there is no such evidence. The US strong posture in logistics, a deep force presence, but is weak in visible action. As the Iranians continue to launch waves of missile and drone attacks, Israel is left alone to fight it without.
Mr. James Marlo is a military and political analyst. He is now joining us live on this show and broadcast. Mr. Marlo, thanks for your time and welcome. America is on alert. Let's briefly decode the president's statements a while back. Trump has warned everyone today to keep oil prices down. He told the U.S. Energy Department to drill, baby, drill. There's a high likelihood that Iran will initiate an economic warfare, not only to the United States, but to the globe. They've already started by warning of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. What will be the repercussions of that?
Good evening, Eric. Always good to be with you. Well, there's a lot of questions in there. Let me try and unpack some of it briefly. And that is, there is so much news speculation, so many journalists trying to grab the sensational headline as to what will happen. What we do know, and I in Jerusalem do speak to members of the government and officials and members of the IDF, senior members of the IDF, on a regular basis. However, what we do know is this, that there does seem to be a decision on behalf of Iran to retaliate against the United States, and that could be retaliating against some of the US bases. Now, there are US bases, as the report said, all over the Middle East. They include, obviously, Saudi, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, and the largest one by far is in Qatar. You also mentioned as well in the report that Qatar airspace has been closed down. That seems to be in anticipation that there could be a hit. The problem with that is, if the Iranians decide to do that, they've also got Saudi soldiers on the ground. They've got Bahraini soldiers on the ground, and also, I understand, some other Gulf states. So that could be a major problem. In terms of the oil prices, President Trump, as I understand it, has actually just said, we've done what we had to do. And by the way, Israel actually just wanted to do the job by themselves. They just needed assistance with regard to those 3 nuclear plants because they were buried deep under the mountains. And of course, they don't have those bunker buster bombs, which the Americans took care of on Saturday night. The Israelis have now gone in and finished up the job, or at least they're continuing the job. And of course, in the next couple of days, we will decide and we will find out and discover exactly how much damage was done to those attacks on Saturday night and the subsequent ones by the Israelis afterwards.
Mr. Marlo, just very quickly, just to regurgitate what I just asked you, do you think an economic warfare is imminent? Very quickly.
Well, it's very difficult to say. It really depends upon what the Iranians want to do. The Iranians, I think, are on the back foot at this time. They've lost all of their outer zone. Those who surrounded them, Hamas and Hezbollah and the Syrians as well, they're no longer in power. The Iranians, of course, have lost their head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, the head of intelligence, the head of Navy, the head of the military as well. They've lost hundreds of other commandos. And I think that the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is in a desperate situation right now. He's clearly in a bunker. He's not sure whether he's going to be targeted or not. If somebody decides to make the fatal mistake of attacking US bases, which of course could put up prices, may not, but if they decide to do that, I think it'll be over very, very quick. Because one thing that we've both learned, Eric, is that President Trump does not like people going up against him, does not like people challenging him, and certainly does not like people attacking his forces. And I think he will come down very hard. And then you may see this possible regime change come quicker than what we in Israel expect it to be.
Mr. Marlo, Israel's objectives from the get-go was to eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities, but America has done that to some extent. What justifies Israel's continued bombing of Iran? Very quickly.
Well, it wasn't just the nuclear plants, it was actually also the ballistic missiles. Iran has built up international ballistic missiles over a 20-year period. So it's been taking those out one by one, and they have thousands and thousands. So right now, the Israelis say that they're about 40 to 50% success. But of course, the Iranians have this mass production factories taking place. So they're taking out the factories, they're taking out the storage units. They're also taking out the military. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard, they've taken out their headquarters. And now, as we heard earlier on, they've taken out, or at least they've hit the prison whereby a lot of the dissidents and those opposed to the regime have been held and perhaps killed, tortured, etc., etc. Because this regime is not a nice regime. Even the Arab Gulf states say that as well. So the Israelis are just going after all their military capabilities to make sure that if the Iranian regime stays in power, that of course it's going to start to rebuild, that it will take many, many years for them to do that. And Israel can't leave those international ballistic missiles within the range of Israel because it will use them.
Mr. Marlo, I'm very sorry to rush you today, but good to see you, and thank you for talking to us today.
Nice to see you too, Eric.